Hey fishing fans, it's me, Tony G. Recently, my buddy Scott and I filmed some footage out here fishing on the lake, and the fish were hitting slow-moving jigs, crawdad type patterns like this one here, and we went ahead and caught several fish on them. But what I wanted to do was film a little bit before we go into the actual fishing footage to give you all an idea how versatile the jig is. So a jig can mimic whatever forage you're presented with by the way you put it together. For example, you go out on a lake and the bass are primarily feeding on shad, you could put together an awesome shad imitation with a jig. I'd go with like a white jig. See, this one here is an excellent shad imitator. I got a silver curly tail twister grub on the back end of it. Paddle tails like this one right here. You just take it, put him on there. Of course, you just thread him right on, and voila! Now you've got an excellent imitation of a shad in a jig. You get all the weedlessness and everything of the jig, and this is going to be a bait fish or a shad. You can go bluish and greens to imitate bluegill and whatnot. But these, now you're going to fish these differently. Okay, lures back together. I could talk about how we're supposed to retrieve it. Now, since it's the shad imitation, we're not going to let it hit the bottom and then lift the rod tip and drop it back down like a crawdad. No, no, no! We're going to cast it out. We're going to slow roll it back in. Now, once again, this is a swim jig, your shad imitation jigs, and you fish it like you would a you'd fish it like you would a spinnerbait. Now I got it rigged much better. Here it goes. Okay, we're going to cast it out. I'm going to let it sink down a few feet, get it down to about where the bait fish are. Right now the bait fish are about 8 to 10 feet under the surface. And then I'm slowly wind it in, just like this here. And what it's doing is it's swimming along. That little paddle tail's kicking. It looks like a bait fish swimming along, minding his own business. And bass is going to see that, and he's like, oh no, that's dinner. So this is one type of jig. That's the swim jigs or the shad imitators. Now the other jig we're going to have is a crawdad imitator. And this one here I tied. It's a black and blue with a craw type trailer on it. Got pinchers and everything. Looks just like crawdad. And we're going to fish him a little differently. What I'm trying to say. We're going to go look for some underwater brush. And now another thing too, you're fishing that underwater brush. It's a really neat idea is you fish that jig right up to a limb. This jig here, you're going to crank it down over the brush, and I like to bring it right up there and let it sit on the limbs and just wiggle it. A lot of times the crawdads climb up on those limbs and those trees, and they'll just sit there, and a bass will just come right along and suck him right off the branch. So when you're in the brush, slow down and fish that brush a little bit. Hey, we got another one, the chigger craw. The chigger craw is out fishing the chatterbait today. But those things are great. Wow, just barely had him hooked too. Yep. Fell right out.
Skinny fish.
Yes, he is. He needs to get back in there and eat some more.
Thank you, fishy.
Yep. Awesome. Oh my goodness, he's a tiny one. Here he comes up. What a little sugar booger. I know what he was thinking. He must have been thinking, how do the birds miss this bait? You know what? I need the pliers to get it out. It sure is, man. I'm glad to see he's in here. Got it out. I just couldn't get my fingers in his mouth. His mouth was so tiny. That's right, fish fans. His mouth was so tiny I couldn't get my fingers in there. Here you go. Look at that. Here he went back. All right. Well, that was my second cast or first cast. First cast. So I think we're gonna. Yeah, he was on it as soon as it hit the water. He's not a big one, but he's a fish. Yeah, he's coming up to see us now. He's in the boat. Well, he's not in the boat with us. Now he's in the boat with us. Huh?
A little bit bigger than the last one.
Yeah, he is. They're getting bigger. I had to switch to your style hook.
Yep.
That mustad with the sinker on it. We're using my friend Scott's custom-made hooks, or custom modified.
Custom modified.
Yeah, custom modified hooks. Yeah, we're gonna go on back there. There he goes.
It's a typical weighted hook, but different weight, different action.
Yeah, it gives it a really good action when you
just
got it set
sugar
up. It's a bass. I don't know how big he is. He fought pretty good when it first hit. I thought it was huge. You see how he took off with that cam? I mean, he took off, you know. Yeah, he's coming up. Yeah, he did, man. He bent that rod something fierce. I thought it was a monster. I thought this one was a monster, fish fans. It turned out to be just a nice one. But there we go. Got him on the soft plastics again. Whoops, sorry guys. I gotta fix this camera. It's falling off on me. That's not good. Anyhow, here we go, fish fans. He's going back in, and he's gone. Back to the
Got
depths.
one
on, fish fans. I don't know what it is, but it's big.
It's a nice bass. That's a big one of the day.
It is a big one of the day. Oh, it's a big one. Here, camera me up here for a second. Thank you, Scott. This is my big one of the day, anyhow, so far. There he is. And he looks like he's been rooting around from his jaw. Maybe been looking for crawdads or something. You know, doesn't he look like he's been eating in the rocks?
Yeah.
There we go. Got that worm out. There he is.
Nice fishing.
Oh, man. That is a nice one. And let's get us back into the shade. And then we'll put him back. And I had to switch to the chigger craw also. Chigger craw, Scott was just catching them every other cast there for a while in the chigger craw. And I was using a regular jig. And obviously, they'd rather prefer chigger craw. So that's what we're throwing. Here he goes back. And we'll let you go, buddy. He's out of here. All right. I'm going to back us up. We're drifting into the sun. And up over the fish. There we go. That puts us into the action. You got him? You got him? Good. Huh? Oh, okay. There he is. Hey, he's a fish. He counts. He's a fish. Yeah, I've done that a few times. Yep. There's one. Got him that time. Another nice one too, Scott. He's coming right at us. There he goes. that look to it. Find it. Once I find the hook, it's all buried in that big worm. Here it is. There he is. There's my second nicest one today. Fish fans. There's number 2. He's a nice one. Big, thick, chunky one. Let's get him back in the lake here. And he is gone.
It's Tony's afternoon.
Yep. Sugar booger. I think it's a sugar booger. No, he's not bad. Did you? Is he on? Oh, okay. I'm more in the mood for fishing today. Now, this morning I was in the mood for breakfast burritos. Get the hook out. He swallowed it down pretty good. There we go. Just a sugar booger. Let's get him on back in. There he goes. Ooh, nice one. Okay. Hey, we'll turn this camera back on and get more exciting action.